What's up, everybody? This is the craziest start. Can you guys see me? I want to make sure you guys can see me. Shanika, what's up? All right, that's what I'm talking about. Carla, what's up? What's up? This is crazy. This is wow. We've got a lot of folks in here already saying what's up. My man Joel's here. Jerry Smith, what's up? Chelsea, what's up? Yes, I see everybody. Casey, Bianca. All right, so here's the deal. This is going to be crazy because we're back. We have been gone for, well, I shouldn't say we've been gone. I've been gone for about 4 weeks. And I want to first begin big shout out to Tori McGraw, who hosted a phenomenal Mentor Monday about 3 weeks ago with Black Girls Run. It was phenomenal. So I definitely want to thank Tori for that. I was actually gone. I was hosting this like flow dating, speed dating thing for BET that was crazy for those of you guys that made it. 5 different cities, and it was just amazing. And I want to say this, going to these 5 cities, talking about love and relationships, I had more people come up to me after each session or after each flow dating and ask me, Paul, when's the next Mentor Monday? Or I can't wait for Mastermind, or I love Mentor Monday. That it really shows that Mentor Monday is resonating. So I really, really am humbled by that. And we're going to keep going. And tonight, we're going to kick it off with 2 phenomenal guests. But I'm going to get to those guests in just a second. So you'll see right here, let me see if I can do this right here, that Ella says, let them know that we started. So make sure that you let everyone know that we started. We had over 200 RSVPs for tonight at the new time. So that is fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. Also, I want to say this. I want to say that this is a serious note, real serious. I was a little disappointed, right? I'm gonna get something off my chest, a little disappointed. So before we start Mentor Monday, we do these like pre-production calls because we're now like official, right? So it's Ella Rucker, who's our producer. We've got Courtney Herring, we've got Michelle Talbert, we've got Mariana Silva, all the folks that are a part of the Mentor Monday team. And they were like, "Hey, Paul, are you going to be drinking tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, of course, I'm going to be drinking tonight." They said, "Well, why don't you start drinking now?" But that was an hour before. They wanted me to start drinking because they were like, they were alluding to they liked me better drunk. And I was thinking to myself, this is not what Mentor Monday is about. Mentor Monday is not about you guys seeing me make a fool of myself being drunk. But on that note, I will say tonight, I am not only drinking one, and yes, it's a blue moon. I'm sorry. Red Stripe, I'm sorry. I've got not just one blue moon, but because I know our guests are so great, I've got a second and a third, although I only have 2 hands. So tonight is a 3 beer night, depending on how crazy things are. And I want to know this. Crystal's like, Blue Moon is my favorite. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do is everyone that is drinking right now, I want you actually to go to Twitter and I want you to hit up hashtag Mentor Monday. Show me what you're drinking tonight. There might be something special. Dominic is like 3 beer. That's right. Dominic, it's a 3 beer night. Show me what you're drinking on hashtag Mentor Monday right on Twitter. Pop it up there. Let me see what you're drinking. If you're not drinking 3 beers, that's cool. If it's a ginger beer, that's cool. If it's a water, that's cool. Carla's like, I got my glass of Malbec. Yes, I like that. Let's see. Get a quick shot right on the iPhone. Quick shot. Let me see what you're drinking. We might have something special. And let me tell you this too. There are a lot of there are a lot of I would say uh, alcohol or spirit companies that watch Mentor Monday. We've had there's like this little thing going on right now where Blue Moon folks at Blue Moon are watching because they know that I like Blue Moon. We've got the folks on Red Stripe, which everybody knows. I've got like a tattoo of Red Stripe right here. If I rip my shirt off, you see Red Stripe, right? They're watching, right? So let them also know which beer is your favorite because who knows, maybe one day Red Stripe or Blue Moon or someone will bless us with the sponsorship, and that would be crazy. All right, so here's the deal. Let's talk a little bit about uh, what Mentor Monday is, real quick, because there's a lot of newbies right in the room. I see a lot of folks, first time Mentor Monday virgins in the room. So here's the deal. Mentor Monday is basically an opportunity that we have to kick back with good community, good vibes, with some good drinks, and be mentored by people that we think highly of. And this is a phenomenal experience. Like if you think about it from a cost standpoint, to like hire these folks for an hour to talk about what they do would probably be thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. We get an opportunity to do this all together, right? Real cool, relaxed atmosphere. So be sure that A, you pay close attention to what they're saying. Secondly, that anyone who has a question, right, and you can pose your questions in the Spreecast chat, that not only are you allowing the subjects or the mentors on the screen to answer, but if you have a great answer, if you have a great resource to support someone asking a question, support that person, all right? What people love most about the Mentor Monday community is how supportive the community is. I saw people saying what's up to each other like they're cousins in here. So that's exactly what Mentor Monday is about. Now, let me get right to the guest introduction and let Ella, let's not pull up the guest yet. I want to wait just a second. But I want to get to this introduction, and here's where I like to go with this is that the reason why we've decided to go with this topic of networking tonight and how to grow your network to build your network is because we watch and observe. When I say we, the whole Mentor Monday team, we watch and observe what's happening in the Mentor Monday forums with when people are using the hashtag Mentor Monday and the questions that we get directly via the Paul C. Brunson site. And one of the number one questions that we get, number one in terms of a theme, is, well, how do I increase opportunity in my life? Right? Some of them, hit me directly and say, Paul, I'm looking for a boyfriend, or I'm looking for, a girlfriend or a husband or a wife. That's opportunity. Some may say, I'm looking for a new job. That's opportunity. Some may say, I'm looking for a new client, or I'm looking for new business, or I'm looking for a new partner. All of that is opportunity. And one thing that I will tell you personally from my life, and I'm sure our guests are going to endorse this, is that most of the opportunity that we receive in our life comes from who we know. It comes from who we know. And it's not simply about having the connection, because the connection gets us in the door. But what closes the deal is the relationship that we have built. And so I couldn't think of any better topic for us to talk about as we quote unquote come back to Mentor Monday than to talk about, well, how the hell do we build a network? How do we build our net worth as a result of that network? And there are three things that I want to specifically focus on tonight with our guests, and then I'll do the introduction. The first thing is I want to talk about like what are the right platforms to use. Is Spreecast a good platform to use? LinkedIn is Pinterest better? Offline, are meetups better? Are conferences better? What are the right platforms for us to meet people in terms of our network? Secondly, once we've picked the platform, well, what do we say? Like, how do we build a relationship? What do we do in terms of our body movement, our body language? What should we not do, right? What's the best way to actually exchange information so they don't think that we're just trying to sell them on something? Like, how do we establish a rapport with someone? That's kind of the second phase that I want to go to. And then the last phase, which I think is the most important phase, is how do we eventually get to the ask, right? How do we get to the point where we can then ask that person and create opportunity in our life, right? So these are the questions. Shannon's like, excellent questions, Paul. Shannon, thank you very much. But no, but really, those are the three phases that I want to go to. So when you're thinking of questions tonight, think within those three phases, right? Platform, how to actually engage, and then how do we kind of close the deal? Think about those three, and any questions you have, throw those out, and we'll be pulling questions throughout the course of the night. All right, so cheers. Quick sip before I bring on the guests. That one's done. I started a little bit early. All right, so that one's done. So mark one off for me. It's not going to be just a two beer night. All right, so the guests. I will say this. This is a huge honor to have these guests. These are like the perfect two people and truly a power couple, right? First off is Zara Green, right? I have followed Zara on Twitter for quite some time. She is one of, and I want to say, I'm going to say it, the few I think that talks about relationships from the wholeness of a relationship. No, not just about love and sex, but about the platonic side of a relationship, the business side of the relationship. I think truly that she is one of the most insightful people on human interaction, right? She's a resiliency expert. Obviously, she's in professional development, but I think that just the fact that she has this insight, this kind of uncanny insight around human interaction, makes her perfect for tonight because that's really what we're talking about is how do we interact with other people and ultimately build a relationship with them. Now, her life partner, her business partner, and by the way, I want to get into that. They're partners. I want to get into that, how they're partners. But is Alfred Edmond Jr. A lot of us know who Alfred is, right? Senior Vice President at Black Enterprise, one of my favorite magazines, literally going back years, like going back years. Earl Graves Sr. is someone who was, it was Earl Graves Sr., it was Reginald Lewis, right? It were these guys that really helped me see that, I could actually get out here and do something in the business landscape. So it's an honor to have, someone at that height of a level within Black Enterprise join us. And I'm going to say, this guy is awesome. And real quick note, and Ella, if you could pull him on when I mention this too. I want to see his facial expression when I mention this. Is okay, here he comes. Here, oh, they're smiling already. I want to say this before I welcome them is that don't let don't let Alfred, if I could call him Alfred, don't let the bow tie fool you. Because if you follow him on Instagram, this guy is Diesel. Like this guy, I saw him on Instagram. I was like, in the gym. I thought, I got to get back to the gym. Like this, I must get back to the gym. This guy is doing it. So welcome, collectively known as the Grown Zone. Welcome. Thank you very much for blessing us with your presence on Mentor Monday.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to be here.
All
It
right, all
really
right. That's
is.
what I'm talking about. Awesome, awesome. So we have to start with: are any drinks in the house?
First things first. Go ahead, Vegas. Show them what you got. Show them what you're working with.
I got some. I got some extra ginger beer. Reed's extra ginger beer.
That's what I'm
Because
talking
the
about.
temple.
Extra.
I got. You see what I'm working with. I gotta take care of the temple.
I
Well,
know.
Paul, I won't leave you hanging. I got a little Pinot Noir. I
Cheers.
won't leave you
So,
hanging, baby. Here we go. Cheers.
cheers
And
to you.
and
Take a sip.
and I
Yeah,
and I like that blue moon you've got there too.
She's a beer girl.
I'm a beer
She's a
drinker.
beer drinker.
oh yeah.
Oh,
So,
Cheers. I won't leave you
cheers.
hanging, fella.
Cheers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Can't drink alone. But we've got right now, we got 222 people drinking with us right now. Um,
It's a beautiful thing.
it is. It is. It is. This is what I want to talk about networking, but there's this a burning question that I have is around, I want to talk about your relationship if I can, because, you know, we oftentimes, we look upon people that share our values, right? And whenever I'm watching anything that comes from you all, it's like, I'm like, yes, yes, amen, yes. But the question that I always have is, hold on for a second. They've titled themselves as life partners and not necessarily husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. You've not used those traditional titles. So tell us, like, how do you define your relationship and why do you define it so?
Uh-oh. Why do we define and then you went out? I want to get that last bit so
Uh-oh.
we make sure we cover it. Why do we define? Pick up.
Absolutely. So the question is really twofold. It's how do you define yourselves as a couple, right? Is it, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, what's the title, and then why that particular title?
Well, for starters, we are not married. Most people think we are. We're not married. And one of the things that we impress upon people is that you want to build a marriage before you say I do. The marriage is not about the act. The marriage is about how you treat one another. The marriage is about building the foundation that a relationship can stand on.
A wedding consummates a relationship. It doesn't create the relationship. So you see people having really raggedy relationships, and they think when they have a beautiful wedding, it's going to fix everything. I've been there twice, so I know.
Both of us,
Both of us
4
been there
divorces
twice.
under our belts.
All right, so we learned the hard way that the wedding consummates the quality of the relationship. So if it's a poor quality relationship, the marriage is going to be poor quality no matter what kind of wedding you have. If it's a high quality relationship, if you really built it and you built it on honor, esteem, and respect, as we talk about in the Grown Zone all the time, then the wedding, and I am going to marry this woman, so make no mistakes about it. I am going to marry this woman. But we're building, we've said we want to build the foundation so that we're in effect married before we get married, and the wedding consummates the quality of the relationship that we built. If you marry and it's a raggedy relationship, you're going to have a raggedy marriage. I don't care what kind of wedding you have. And we're doing it the other way around. We want to have a beautiful marriage that the wedding consummates.
That's it.
Wow.
The other part of that is
one more
we
question
call
about
each
the
other
relationship.
partners. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Zara. Go ahead, please.
We call each other, we are partners because you're either partners, or you are strangers in a relationship, don't really know each other, or somebody's a dependent in the relationship. True partnership only comes because you've taken the time to get to know who each other are and eliminated the kind of factors that can compound a bad relationship.
And you have to be, the whole idea of unconditional acceptance of who the other person is a real deal, and we gloss over that in relationships. Taking care of Zara is taking care of me, and that's how I approach my life. And I'm only in two places, and people have heard me or seen me tweet this. I'm ever only in two places. I'm either with her or I'm on my way to her. We are together all the time. We have intimacy even when we don't have proximity, and that was something
that right there is the most tweetable right there. I love that. I felt chills when you said that. I'm either with her or I'm on my way to her. Powerful.
And I'm clear about that at all times. It doesn't matter where he is or what's going on. I'm clear about that. And we say all the time, it's not about what anybody's saying to you in a relationship. It's about how they're treating you in a relationship. The words mean nothing.
Wow. One more question that I have about the relationship before we get into the networking is, if I can ask this, because this is Mentor Monday, right? Everything's open on Mentor Monday. Can I ask how old both of you are? And I'll tell you why.
Absolutely. I'm asking. It's okay. I'm an open book, and so is he. I'm 46.
Okay.
I just turned 54 last month.
54. Okay. Here's the reason why I asked that. Most of my, in my matchmaking agency, most of the clients that we have that are, say, 38 and older, they typically tell me, Paul, I need to rush my relationship.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what they'll tell me is, Paul, I need to rush my relationship. I don't want to date for 3 years or for 2 years or even for 1 year because, I know what I want. I know what I need. I need to move quickly, or I want children. So why do you think it is that you two are, it seems like you're just so darn patient and diligent about building the relationship before you get into the marriage? I think there's a lesson here that a lot of us can take, because you're at the age where you would think most people are trying to rush it, right? But it seems like you're, hey, we're going to take this at our own pace. What's the lesson there for us?
It takes time, and this is what we don't want to accept, unfortunately, in our society. It really does take time to know someone. It does. It's no matter how you may feel initially and how attracted you are to each other. And I'm a compulsive committer. I've been a compulsive committer all my life. So in both of my marriages, and certainly the second one, I committed way too quickly. And the time to figure out that it's not working is not after the wedding. It's before the wedding. I tell single people all of the time, it's better to be single and wish you were married than to be married and wish you were single. You don't know what
Ooh.
misery is until you're married and you wish you were single. So it's always, no matter how much pressure, and there's a lot of societal pressure to get booed up and to get locked down. And I had to, before I met Zara, I had to force myself not only to not be anxious about being married, I had to not be anxious about dating. I had to really get out of this, and we don't have time to go into the reason why I'm like this as a man. But my whole thing was I wanted to commit. I wanted to be the good guy who committed, and that can be just as dysfunctional as the person who can't commit or who doesn't commit.
Absolutely.
So it's important to know yourself, and we stress self-love in the Grown Zone. Self-love is about self-knowledge, so that you understand what your propensities are, and you can make what we call grown decisions, and not just what feels good, it seems right, but really is what's healthy for you. And we both came to that conclusion separately, and when we came
well,
together,
and that's what attracted us.
exactly.
Is that we came to that decision separately.
Yes.
We're all magnets. You only attract that which you have I'm trying to be nice, Paul. Maybe I don't need to be nice.
Tell it, Zara. Tell it.
You know, I have this word, Paul, that I use, and Alfred used it on our radio show this Saturday when he went solo. He did it. I have this word where I say you have to be fuquitable.
Okay.
Fuquitable. Yeah, I made that up. But if you break it, I made it up. If you break it down though, and the way I spell it is FUQU. Come on, but stay there. That's where I'm going. Fuquitable. You have to be withable. You got that?
Okay. I got it.
But that can only happen if you have vulnerabilities or weaknesses or gaps or points that you are trying to make somebody else feel, some voids that you're waiting for somebody else to fill. If you don't know what those are and you haven't taken care of those yourself, then you are a magnet for all kinds of foolery.
And we get into trouble when we have voids that we're supposed to fill for ourselves, and we're looking for other people and other things to fill those voids. That leads to trouble every time. So to not be fuquitable is to say, I'm going to focus on self-love, because how you love and treat yourself is what you attract to you, and it's what you inspire other people to do with you when you have to teach people how to love you, but you can't teach them if you don't know how to do it yourself.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's why everything we do is the basis of self-love.
Yeah, this fuquitable. No, I mean that. Hold up. First off, I hope that you coined that. You have somehow trademarked it. I don't know, because that's going to be used.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's Grown Zone.
That's Grown Zone. Okay, all right.
That's Grown Zone.
And absolutely, and we want the audience to continue. Right, follow Grown Zone. I think there's a giveaway that we're going to do close to the end of the show. So Grown Zone is what Zara, Alfred do together outside of, I guess, individual, their individual respective businesses. So let's get into to networking, because obviously networking stems off of relationships. It's something that I truly felt like the two of you could give us some incredible insight, namely because Zora, what you do around personal development, and then Alfred, what you do around the organizing of these large-scale conferences and events that, let's keep it real, most people attend because they're trying to build their network. So where I want to begin is, let's say, most of the audience are upstart entrepreneurs, right? So folks who are thinking about launching a business, or maybe who have just recently launched a business, right? So we're upstarts. If we are seeking to build our network, what do you suggest are the best platforms for us to use? Online platforms, what are some of the best online? And then what are some of the best offline platforms, conferences that we should be attending?
Well, let me start by telling you the best piece of advice that I got from Brent Leary back when I've been into social media since the late 90s, but I tell people I didn't know what I was doing until about 8 years ago. And Brent Leary says that you use your online media interaction to facilitate more effective real life face-to-face interaction. So it's not an either or proposition. If you're doing it right, what you're doing is laying the groundwork, planting the seed so that when you're finally face to face or you're on the phone with the person, you've already kind of laid the groundwork for effective relationships. But here's what I always tell people to focus on. Whether you're online, offline, social media, conferences, on the phone, and the best wealth builders, and that's what I get to, who I get to talk to by working at Black Enterprise as long as I have, all have one thing in common. They don't focus on what they need. They focus on how much value they can bring to the table. So you should be thinking about what value are you bringing, and that's social media one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
You follow people who bring you value. You don't follow people who are promoting themselves and asking you to do things and please click on this and please do that. You follow people who bring value in the quality of their content and the information they're sharing and the inspiration they're sharing a lot of times, because sometimes you just need somebody to make you feel better during the course
Right.
of a rough day. And then when you engage that person who's bringing value, if they say, listen, check out my audio book, or listen, check out my conference, they're already like, hey, I like you. I'll check your stuff out. But too often we focus first on what we're trying to get, as opposed to saying that our value on this earth, whether you're on social media or not, is to bring value to other human beings. That's what the Grown Zone is about. That's what my work at Black Enterprise has been about. And entrepreneurs who forget that or who never learn it don't succeed.
Absolutely.
So what platforms would you suggest? And the reason why I want to drill down on platforms is because, you know, a lot of people, for example, tell me, Paul, you know, why are you not on LinkedIn? You should be on LinkedIn. You know, you can't necessarily network on Twitter or Facebook. They'll say, Paul, you know, you need to attend this particular conference versus this conference. There's so many social media platforms, there's so many conferences. How do I know which ones I should be attending and the ones that, you know, I can pass up?
Well, you can't. I mean, unless you've got several people working with you, there are so many. You can't do them all. You have to decide what works for you. And Paul, I'll tell you that I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm not as active as I need to be over there, and I recognize that, and I say
I'm the LinkedIn master
he
up
is
in here.
he's a master on LinkedIn. And I didn't feel like I needed to be over there with Grown Zone, to be honest with you. I'm over there as Zara Green, and as Zara Green with as a trainer and as an author, and you know, my personal growth stuff and professional development. I'm over there for those things. But for Grown Zone, I didn't see how to do that. I didn't see why I needed to do that. Although the way that we're growing and developing, I'm starting to see a need for it. So you'll have to get over there and see when it makes sense for you. Everything doesn't make sense all the time for everybody.
Here's my rule of thumb, though.
Okay.
You have to be on LinkedIn, and you at least need to build out your profile with multimedia tools. Because now LinkedIn, really, you can put video on there,
Yeah.
you can put great stuff on there. So you need to have a well-planned and well-executed LinkedIn profile, even if you don't do a lot of content socializing there. In my opinion, you got to do Twitter, because that's your chance to have conversations every day and to share valuable content every day. You have to do Twitter. Now, if you have a visual, anything that's visual, and I have a bow tie line with Windsor neckwear that most people know that I'm known for my bow ties. I was resisting Instagram until a good friend of mine, Anselm Samuel Roque,
Yes.
who worked with me at Black Enterprise, was like, "How can you have a fashion business and not be on Instagram?" And the light bulb went on. So anything that's visual, you want to be on Instagram and you want to showcase, because you can't, you know, tweeting an image on Twitter doesn't hurt, but Instagram is perfect for showcasing the visual. And then, so you want to think of each platform as a different way of telling your story. YouTube, obviously, if you're a good storyteller, especially if you got broadcast experience, you should be on YouTube. You should be doing a show. You're great on Spreecast. So I think you got to look at the tools that and what they do, and not look at all social media platforms as the same. And then think about, what am I promoting? What am I selling? How am I shaping my brand and my image? And which of these tools present me in the best light and give me the best chance to communicate what I'm about? And as Zara said, you don't need to be on all of them. I say if you excel at 3 of them, that works, then that's fine. It's better to be really digging it in on 3 than to spread yourself too thin trying to do too many.
I
That's
agree.
fair. What about offline? So I definitely understand what you're saying in terms of the social media platforms. But what about offline? There are, I get on a weekly basis, I may get a dozen different invites to, to different conferences. How do I know which conferences to attend? Should I be attending smaller meetups? Should I be attending conferences that are outside of my area of expertise, right? So I can, grow a new set of expertise. How do I know what to do offline?
Well, I think it's certainly important to bring that stuff offline. A lot of people are online and have a gazillion followers, and that's not really effective. I mean, it's effective if you are to make the initial connections, and if you're able to online, help retweet people's stuff and show that you care about them and what they're doing, and then that's online. You can build relationships, you can make connections, but at some point you have to take it off. At some point, if people are in your same area, or you go to an area, then if you've been communicating with somebody for a long time, then you want to meet up with them. You want to, ask, let's go have a cup of coffee. You have to bring it offline, because just like you said in the beginning, people connect with, hire, and do business with those they know.
Yes.
So you have to bring that thing offline. I don't know about you, Paul, but I've met many people that I communicated with online for a long time, saw them offline, and I was like, is that the same person that
Yep.
I've been communicating with? I mean, it's a whole different ball game.
Well, it speaks to the most important, what I consider the most important value that any human being can bring to the table, particularly in the 21st century, and that's authenticity.
Mm.
It is so easy to fake the funk in social media. It really is. You can create a whole persona in social media. You can create a whole personality, and then you may seem so nice and so engaging, but face to face is where the rubber hits the road. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do via social. For example, the deal that I did for my bow tie line, we did the whole thing without ever meeting face to face. We just did Google Hangouts and tweets. We didn't meet face to face until I actually flew to Nashville to sign the deal and to design the line. So there's a lot you can do, because it takes away geographical boundaries. It takes away all those limitations that we had before digital and social media. But
Okay.
sooner or later, you got to be able to deal with that person as a human being. And
Right.
whether it's on the phone, whether it's in the same room, you're going to know who that person is. And if they're not authentic, everything else falls apart.
Absolutely.
And of celebrities who look so popular when you first meet them or get to know them, then you meet them face to face and they're horrible. And that stuff
Oh,
comes
yeah.
back to haunt you.
I've
So,
had many of those.
So here's where I think you could help us incredibly, right? Is I
Yeah.
completely agree. I meet tons of people when I, go to do these events. And what's interesting is you're right, their persona in real time is different than what it is online. And they actually are very much very characteristic of quintessential introvert, right? Don't want to look
Yeah.
you in the eye, weak handshake, hunch over. What suggestions can you give us, all of us, that when we're interacting with someone in real time, that we can present ourselves as authentic, that you're talking about, right? That we can present ourselves as confident. What are some of the things that we can do so that we can establish a strong rapport quickly?
Well, let me go back to the foundation of the Grown Zone, which is self-love. A lot of times people are one way on social media and another way in real life because they don't really like themselves. They have confidence issues. They have gaps in their interpersonal communications. So there's a lot of things you can do to fake the funk on social media that when you get in the room with a person, you can't fake it. So first, it goes to your own personal growth and personal development. And you mentioned earlier, while the Grown Zone is very much known for providing, advice in the context of romantic relationships, self-love and healthy relationships applies to all relationships in your life.
Absolutely.
So I want to bring you back to something you said earlier about it. It's about who you know, and it is, but it's actually about who knows you and what they say about you when you're not in the room. It's not just who you know. You know a lot of people, but if you're not authentic, you won't be clear on what they're saying when you're not in the room. Our auntie's Judge Judy, just so you know.
Love Judge
She's
Judy.
straight up no chaser. That's our auntie. And she says, when
Shout
you
out
tell
to
the
Judge
truth,
Judy.
no doubt, Auntie Judy. But Judge Judy always says, if you're telling the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Well, when you're being authentic to who you are, then when you get into different platforms or different environments, you're the same everywhere you go. And let me bring it home to me and Zara. On social media, people know that we're very respectful and we honor one another and we're loving to each other and we treat each other a certain way and we talk about each other a certain way. Guess what? If we're not like that when people see us in real life, it's going to come out right away.
Absolutely.
And then that destroys the whole
That's
credibility of
right.
everything we talk about. If I'm, if I'm with other women disrespecting her and she's talking me down behind my back, and if we don't live it, the brand is destroyed. The credibility is destroyed. Paul, your success has been that over the years, no matter where people have seen you, and you've spoken at the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, so I've seen you live.
Yeah.
No matter where they've seen you, they see the same guy with the same values talking the same thing. And you
Absolutely.
destroy your brand as soon as you deviate from who you really are. So you better know who you really are. You better love who you really are. So you don't have to think about it when you move from platform to platform. The other thing is people don't understand that in social media, you're actually living in the public eye, whether you want to or not. So people already know whether you're faking the funk. They see you all the time. They're paying attention to you when you're not paying attention to them. So when we talk about what's the right platform, I always tell people what's more important than the right platform is to be the same person on every platform.
All the time. Wow. Wow. You know,
Across the board.
yeah, I love that when you talk about, what people are saying about you, because ultimately when you talk about a brand, that's ultimately what your brand is. Your brand is never what
Absolutely.
you say it is. It's only what everyone else says it is. And so that was a
Absolutely.
very, very, very powerful statement. So then let's then go to the third part, right? Which is, okay, you have presenting yourself authentically, consistently across social media and in real time. But let's face it, you have a product that you want to sell,
Mhm.
service you want to sell, an idea that you want to sell. How do we do that? Like, how do we authentically build the relationship knowing that we need to make an ask at some point?
I think you do it just in the order, and I'm glad your questions were in the order it was. You do it in the order of 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 first giving. You want to give to somebody. You want to make a connection. Once you follow somebody and you like what you're seeing, whether they're following you or not,
Mhm.
you start to share that. Share their stuff. Tell them you thought that was good. Yeah, make those kinds of connections. So that's the first thing you do is you go and you give. And after that, then you are constantly working on self. I say this all the time. People go to school, they get all these degrees. A whole bunch of people have a whole lot of letters behind their names because the last letter didn't work. So they figure they have to go get more letters. And they keep getting all these darn degrees, and their personal growth sucks. They don't have interpersonal skills.
Yeah.
They don't know how to treat people. And then they get pious because all those damn letters behind their names. And nobody wants to have anything to do with them.
And they don't like themselves
So
either.
it's not, the whole authentic thing is real. So if you're not going to support people, you're not really serving. It really boils down to serving. You have to have a heart to serve. If it's not about the people, pack up and go home. You're wasting your time. You're wasting our
Hold on, hold
time.
on. Woo! That was woo! That was
Let me tell
serious.
you something
Okay.
that Mr. Graves taught me, when I first came to Black Enterprise. You have to know your mission. You have to know your purpose. The mission drives the business. The business never drives the mission. So when we got together and decided to do Grown Zone, our mission was simple. We had made a lot of adult and messy choices that did a lot of damage to us and the people in our lives. We wanted to do better, and then we wanted to take what we knew and teach other people how to do business better. We watched, Discovery ID and watched people killing each other over craziness. We watched,
I
Judge
love
Judy
Discovery.
and she loves it. But we're saying, and we'd see people in our own lives and our own families making horrible, horrible decisions in pursuit of love and a better life and trying to be happy. And the truth is, they didn't have a blueprint for how to do
That's
that.
right.
And unfortunately, I'll speak for myself. I didn't grow up in with a lot of healthy relationships to role model after. So that's the mission. Now,
Yeah.
we absolutely expect to make money with our company, A to Z Personal Growth Enterprises, which is the company that houses the Grown Zone. So then the question becomes, how do you make money? Well, you make money by trying different ways of serving your product. And that means you're going to have to lose some money along the way because there's no way to anticipate what's going to work. So we've done everything from one day discussions in New
Workshops.
York City and workshops in New York City that were very well received. We had our first, and it was a lot of fun, weekend retreat, our Grown Zone retreat in Chicago this past November. We're going to do it again this year. Obviously, we do the Blog Talk Radio show. And it's
Every Saturday at
every
noon.
Saturday. We have Grown Zone products now. Here's one of our Grown Zone mugs, and So
What that
what we're
say?
doing,
Nice.
it says more than adult choices, grown decisions. So my point
Grown
is,
decisions.
what you're doing
Okay.
is you're packaging what you have to offer. You're packaging things that bring value, and you do it with the eye on the bottom line. So you're not just throwing money at the issue, but you want to use your investment in different products and services to let your customer tell you what they're willing to pay for. Now,
What
I
is
tell
it?
entrepreneurs all the time, don't go by what your friends and family say. The reason why you got to put product out there is because you're not trying to get people to tell you how wonderful you are. You're trying to give them an opportunity to pull money out of their pocket. And what people will pay for is what you need to be focused on, not just
Got
what
it.
people say they like. And
Right.
so that's the stage we've been at. We're a year and a half in with Grown Zone, and now we're creating products, audiobooks, ebooks. We have T-shirts, and we're looking at what are the different ways that people who love the Grown Zone brand and love the Grown Zone message, how do they want to purchase and buy that for their lives?
Now, Paul, here's the other thing, and here's what we've learned, and this is the truth. Over the past year, doing Grown Zone, what we learned is that people love our stuff.
Yes.
They want to see it. They love it when we put it out there. But here's the truth, and y'all need to check yourselves. You're listening. They won't necessarily spend for
Uh-oh.
it. They won't spend for personal growth.
Yes.
They need personal growth, but they won't spend for personal growth. So that's okay. So what do? We back up and say we know they love it, but that's not all we've got. This is what entrepreneurs need to do at all
Absolutely.
times. Entrepreneurs need to look at everything they've got. If the Grown Zone is the personal growth side and it's strong, we don't water nothing down. We just give it.
Right.
That is of service. We know that. But Alfred and I, with the business, the business acumen and professional development, because that's what I come out of is professional development. Him with his entrepreneurship understanding, me having run several businesses myself. Here's what we backing up. We've got some products coming out here real soon that are going to be focused on business, entrepreneurship, professional development, and we're going to fold in the personal growth
And let me say,
because they need it.
let me
They
add,
won't pay for it, but they need it.
let me
They'll
add
pay
this,
for all that
Paul.
other stuff.
Some of our most lucrative revenue streams are not what people here know about.
Okay.
Okay. My
And
value as a
what are
public
examples
speaker.
of those?
Like this, what I can charge as a public speaker now versus a year and a half ago has increased by 30 to 40% because of the combination of Grown Zone, Black Enterprise, Windsor Neckwear, Zara and I together, and our separate brands. So that's not something that shows up when we're talking about doing our Grown Zone radio show, but that's increased our revenues tremendously. Another source, I've been mentoring small businesses and entrepreneurs for 20 years. So now, again, this is not something that's ever going to be an ad that you see on our website, but I get paid to consult with small businesses because the personal growth lessons that we're teaching for couples who are trying to get their lives right or get their relationships right are also the same thing that entrepreneurs need to know in terms of how to build business relationships. So those are more one-on-one private consultations that generate revenue. But if we weren't doing what we were doing with Blog Talk Radio every Saturday and on social media, this other business that we're getting wouldn't be coming. We wouldn't get requests to do retreats in other cities. So
Yeah,
I would tell entrepreneurs, think about your public product and service that they may be loss leaders, just designed to extend your brand and establish your credibility, but your main money makers may be something that's invisible to the general public, but is very lucrative for you.
So you have to
Got it.
take inventory
Got it.
of all of your skill sets.
Got it. So here's where I want to go is for the audience too is I've seen a lot of questions pop up. Any questions that you all have, start queuing those up. You can start letting those rip, and then I'll pull some of those. Ella can pull some of those as well. I want to go back to the adding value piece because You've mentioned adding value several times tonight. We hear this often, as anyone who's interested in social media or entrepreneurship, that we need to add value, add value, add value, add value. And you've talked about several ways, but I want to talk about how do we as budding entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, how do we add value on an individual basis? So for example, let's say that there's someone here on this particular Spreecast that wants to build a relationship with both of you, right? How do they turn around and add value to you? And then how long do they need to do that before they can turn around and say, you know what, Alfred? I sure like one of those bow ties. Like I want one of those bow ties. I want you to send me one of those bow. Like how do they add value to you in particular? And then at what point is it appropriate to turn around and then make an ask?
Well, let me say this: one of the biggest rules of wealth building, and if you read Dennis Kimbro's book, The Wealth Choice, he makes this point
Right.
with all the millionaires and billionaires he interviews. You have to not think about what you're putting out as getting it back as linear. Meaning, you may help 5,000 people over here. The person that comes back and invests in you may not be any of those 5,000 people. You have to have trust that if you're putting value out, you're going to get value back. But you can't look at it as I gave value to Paul Brunson. Why isn't Paul Brunson giving value back to me? So
Okay.
my approach has always been I just want to be an asset to the collective. I want to put value out there because a lot of the people who end up buying my bow ties or otherwise, quote unquote, putting money in my pocket are not the same people that I'm giving direct value to. So that's the first thing you got to understand. The second thing is here's what I'm going to mention a pet peeve of mine. It is very transparent when you're acting like you're bringing value, but what you're really doing is thinking of yourself. So I'm going to give you an example. And I did a blog post about this at blackenterprise.com, so I'm not speaking out of school. I hate it when someone says to me, I would love for you to speak at my event. I would so love if you would do business with me. I would love if you would hire me. And it's like you're telling me what you would love, like you're doing something that's supposed to please me, but it's really
Or
something
be to your advantage.
that's helping you. And
Right.
and I tell the people I mentor, when you're talking to someone else, you're not supposed to be talking about what you would love. You should be thinking about what they would love. If I'm trying to have a relationship with Paul Brunson, it's not up to me to talk about, oh, I sure would love Paul Brunson to speak at my event. No, it should be, Paul, I would love to know what would be helpful to you in moving yourself forward. And if you can let me know that, I'd be happy to do it, no strings attached. That's how you build relationships.
Yes.
That's how you create value. When people are saying, this person just wants to be helpful to me. The people that I mentor, and I have a group, some of them don't even know they're on it. It's called the A-list. And it's really just people who I decide I'm going to help. I don't want anything back from them. I'm going to help them. Well, the main way I like to choose them is they're helping people all the time and they're not thinking about what they're going to get back. There's a difference between a relationship and a transaction. The best business people know how to build true relationships as opposed to a series of transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Love
we
it.
mean when we say bring value. You got to want to do something for other people. And you got to
Right.
trust that if you're really doing something for other people, they will value you. I have a saying, a marketplace can't be a desert for everyone else and fertile for you.
Wow.
You have
I
to
love it.
make the marketplace fertile, and then you will benefit from the fruit of that marketplace along with everyone else. But a lot of times people are thinking only about the fruit that is going to be born for them, and meanwhile everybody else is broke. Who wants to serve a marketplace of broke people? No, I want to make everybody else rich.
But Alfred, how do we have that faith? Because I hear what you're saying, and actually, I agree. I completely agree with you.
Mhm.
But I can see people saying, you know what? I hear you, but I give, give, give all the time, and nothing comes back to me. What do you say to that person that feels like they give
And
all the time and nothing comes back?
I don't doubt that there are people who give all the time and nothing comes back. But you know what that is? That's having that linear thinking that when I give in this place, it's supposed to come back. You don't dictate to the gods how stuff is supposed to come back to you. Who do you think you are? You know, it's a universal principle that when you do something and you do it in the right spirit, and you have a belief that everything is cyclical. I mean everything is circular or it goes around. It's not circular I'm looking for. What I'm looking for. It's ever
Reciprocal.
flowing, reciprocal. Everything everything is reciprocal as long as you know it's coming. You don't have to know how it's coming, because you may be limiting the gods by telling them it has to come from the direction in which you flowed.
From an entrepreneurial standpoint, because I have another
The
thing.
mindset.
I hate
mindset.
the hookup. I say I hate the hookup, meaning people who expect entrepreneurs to give away their services for free. Paul, can you come speak? We'll give you a Twinkie and a cab ride to get here, but we can't pay you. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Well,
He knows the drill.
those entrepreneurs who are constantly giving something away to get something back are doing themselves a disservice.
Yes.
Usually when somebody keeps giving their stuff away, is because they don't have the confidence in the value of the stuff for themselves. So whenever I see an entrepreneur that's constantly giving stuff away, and all the people I mentor, I'm like, don't give your stuff away. Set your price, stick to your price, and it's better that nobody buys it at the price than for you to give it away for free. Right. So when you have somebody who says, I'm giving it away, and I'm not getting anything back, the question becomes, why are you giving it away? Are you giving it away because you really want to try to get value? Or are you giving it away because you don't really have confidence in the value of the product or service yourself, and therefore you're giving it away because you don't believe in it yourself? So you need to believe in what, if you really believe that a seminar that you're giving, or a book you're selling, or a speech you're giving, I'll use my own stuff as an example. My honorarium to speak is $12,000 for a keynote, straight up. Guess what? Maybe only 1 or 2 times a year somebody's going to beat that price. But that's better than me charging $500, me speaking, every other weekend, and it takes me a year to make half that much. Meanwhile, I'm taking time away from my baby, I'm taking time away from the gym, I'm taking time away from my own rest, because I have priced myself so low because I'm afraid nobody's going to call me for work. And I see entrepreneurs do that all the time. If you really believe that you're delivering something of value, if your customers believe it, then you have to stick to your guns and stop giving it all away. Only give it away if it's truly a gift. If it's truly a gift, you're not expecting anything back. But if you're giving stuff away all the time and you're talking about, I'm not getting anything back, then it's not a real gift, and you shouldn't be giving it away.
It's not.
The other thing is,
you're right. What you just said. Oh, so go ahead, Sarah.
The other thing is, from a personal growth perspective, if things are not working, stop looking outside.
Yeah.
If things are not working, there is something else, something going on with you. And you may not be doing anything wrong. The timing could be off. There's always something else to learn.
Or you're targeting the wrong customer. You have great product, but you're talking to the wrong people.
So the universe is still speaking to you. The universe is saying, you may think you're doing this right, but no, come on. Just keep on going. And that's where you have to, that faith is really about continuing to move even when you don't understand.
And constant listening and constant learning. When someone says they don't want your product, that's not the time to dismiss them. It's the time to listen to them. When someone says, I love your product for free, but I won't pay for it, they're saying it's worth zero to me. It'd be nice to have, but it's not worth what you're charging. You can say, oh, they're messed up, they're trying to take advantage of me. Or you can say, I need to go back and look at what I'm offering. Maybe I'm not bringing the value that makes somebody wants to pay for it. Or maybe I'm talking to the wrong customer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to sell this to the wrong person. If you look at everything, this is whether it's relationships, business, career, family, as a learning experience. What can I take from this?
Absolutely.
That's going to help me make my next decision better, a grown zone principle. Most entrepreneurs I know that are happy have a wonderful time even when they don't win the business. Because they're like, oh, now I learned more from the no's than I learned from the yeses. In fact, the best salespeople, they only see no's as a pathway on the way to yes. That's it. The best salespeople, they want to hear the no. They're like, oh, I can get something out of this.
I'm getting closer.
I'm getting closer. I got another no. I'm getting closer.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
I'm almost there. The next no is going to turn into a yes because I'm learning something with each. But if you look at it as being rejected and you don't have any follow-up questions, no, and your feelings are hurt and you're discouraged, and then you shut down, you stop learning, then you're doomed. You're not going to ever make it. And I'm sure when you started out, Paul, did everybody get what you were trying to do from day one?
Oh no, nobody. I tell you, when I started, I always like to say this is that when
First of all, a brother doing a relationship,
a
black male relationship expert from jump.
What monogamy? What?
I was like, oh, he's trying to get my pants.
They were
Exactly.
Like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Yeah.
So you got to be willing to invest in the education process, invest in the learning process, and understand that you're learning to earn. Earning doesn't just start right away. You learn to
That's
earn.
right.
And if you believe in what you're doing and if you love what you're doing, you're going to enjoy the process anyway.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
do it.
it's about the journey. It's about the journey. And I tell you what, I'm going to say something that is easily going to make me the most unpopular person right now, but we are out of time. It's crazy. We're out of time. I know I'm
Wow.
about to get
Yeah, you know
flames
how
in the
that
chat
happens.
room. Folks are like, Paul, look, let's extend it. Let's do another, it's part two. And I know, and we're going to have to, but real quick, before we get out of here, I want to make sure that we do two things. One is, where can everyone connect with you and reach with you? Because what I like, that I love actually, is that every tweet that I see that goes to the two of you, you respond to it. Everyone. So everyone
Yeah.
has access to
Yeah,
you. So how
we
can we
do.
get to you?
Mhm.
That's the first question. Let me just stop right there.
Well, we're Grown Zone everywhere. So Grown Zone on Twitter, Grown Zone Facebook. You can find us on Google Plus, Grown Zone, Instagram. Our website is grownzone.com. And our general email box is info@grownzone.com. I'm checking it all the time. Our individual Twitter is I'm at Zara Green. He's at Alfred Edmond Jr. And we answer. So we're quite accessible.
But what you want to do, y'all, you want the straight no chaser Grown Zone. You got to tune in to Blog Talk Radio / Grown Zone on live on Saturdays. You can get it on demand as a podcast, but we're live on Saturday, every Self Love
There's the
Saturday at
link right
noon.
there.
Yeah, and if you're ready, if only grown ups, need to come on there because we don't play. And you're
And
feeling,
we do the Jet.
yeah,
We have a Grown Zone blog on
yeah,
jetmag.com.
jetmag.com every
So
Monday.
every Monday
We have a
there's
Grown Zone
you can
blog.
go read those if you haven't.
But
All right,
I
love
want to
it.
say something that's very important. You talk about the fact that we respond. The operative word in social media is social. It's not the
Right.
media. And people who use it just to broadcast and promote and market, that has its place.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like people and you don't want to talk to people, and you don't want to answer their questions,
Mm-hmm.
why are you on social media? Just
Mm.
get off
Yeah,
and leave room for the
I
rest
agree.
of
It's like,
us.
why?
Be
You know,
gone.
Yeah.
So if
Why?
you got
Why?
3 million followers and you're following 12 people, I'm just not getting it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not
what's the
following
point?
I'm
you.
I
not
agree.
following you.
I agree. What is the point? So real quick though is also I was told about the 9 keys to living in the Grown Zone. How can everyone access that? Because I think after tonight everyone's going to rush to it. So how do we get that?
Well, Ella is doing a great job. She keeps spitting it there, and it's just a direct link, even bypassing the website where they can just sign. They're actually signing up for our mailing list. When they sign up for our mailing list, we automatically send them the 9 keys to living in the Grown Zone, and of course that also allows them to get our weekly newsletter that we send out. That's always chock full of grown goodness.
Goodies. Goodies. Well, here I want to say this is thank you so much. I'm going to tell you what, watching the two of you, it's interesting because I was watching the comments. A lot of people mentioned how calming the two of you are. And there's this calming between the two of you, but then there's like this equal ferociousness that comes from the two of you. Like Zara, listening to you, you've
All
got
right,
like some
Paul. Wait a
Eartha Kitt thing going on
Okay.
too, where I
Yeah,
was
doesn't she look like Eartha Kitt?
yeah, I was some
She
points I
sounds
was
like her too.
scared. I was like, oh no. But I love it though. I mean, I could, and then I tell you what, it's the same thing though, Alfred. I see the same thing. Very suave with the bow tie, but I see you in the gym. Like you will knock somebody out. I can see that. So
Dude,
it's
you got to
like,
see me on the dance floor. That's when you get to see
Oh
me.
God, he's
Do
a dancing
my thing.
machine. I'm looking for
Do
people
my
to
thing.
tag me in. They have to tag me in because the brother doesn't sit down.
But listen, Paul, just before we run out of time, first of all, we've always been big fans. Even before we knew each other, we were big fans of you.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing. We're very excited about the Spreecast. The fact that you seem to be having our favorite people on your Spreecast.
Right.
Ronnie and Lamar.
Marshawn
Evans. Randall Pinkett. We're a little biased because you keep picking our family and friends. But,
That's right.
But we just love everything you're doing. We watched you grow. You've been a role model and inspiration to us.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. We're all learning from each other. And listen, let me tell you something else. Grown men don't stutter. I love this woman. No one takes better care of me than her. And that's why I take care of her. Taking care of her is taking care of me. So
And
we,
that's why I love this man.
yeah. So we
I
He
appreciate.
wouldn't get all that. He wouldn't get my love if that weren't the case. Ladies, if that doesn't come first, leave him alone.
But listen,
yeah.
man, we're in the same army, man. We're really trying to help people make better and healthier decisions for themselves in some of this adult messiness and really destructive choices,
Yeah.
self-destructive and otherwise destructive. And so we're kindred spirits with everything that you've been doing, bro. And you keep up the great work. And
Yes.
we'd love to come back on anytime you'd have us, no
I tell
doubt.
you what,
And
oh yeah,
love to all the other people out there. Y'all need to get in the Grown Zone if you're not already there.
I
yeah,
think
I
they're
think
coming.
I think they're gonna get in the grown zone.
And you're
I tell you
welcome,
what,
all of you.
this is I hate to do this, but yeah, let's Zara, show us what you learned in college. Let's see. And
Wait,
let's see.
no, you're not going to do that. See, I could do that with a beer. I can't do that with wine. Dude, I should have brought a beer. Darn it. Do I have a Heineken
You
in
know,
there?
I haven't drank beer since I was in college, actually.
All right.
I'm a
I
beer
had to
drinker.
do
I'm going to get you the
yeah,
next time. I'll do
yeah,
it.
see, I believe you. I believe you.
I'll
See,
do
I'm
it.
scared.
On a Heineken, too. A Heineken.
I,
Not no little
I'm
pump
scared.
beer.
Paul,
A Heineken.
it's real funny when we're at restaurants and there's a beer coming and they put it down in front of me and I'm like, no, bro, that's
No,
for her.
But yeah, I tell you what, I cannot wait for this, to see this wedding. It's going to be, I mean, you two are amazing,
You wasted.
amazing energy.
It's
You
going
ain't
to be
gonna see the wedding.
I ain't
Tell me-
going on that. This number 3.
Yeah, this number 3.
We're going to tweet a picture and say, y'all, we did it.
Listen, for real.
I ain't
We
doing all that.
invested enough money in
Mm-mm.
weddings and time in weddings. We're investing in the marriage. That's
Ain't
what we're
doing it.
doing.
Yes.
Watch
I hear-
how we roll in the marriage.
There we go.
All right, that's where the emphasis
I
needs to
see
be.
I see it. I tell you what, this has been worthy of the 3 beers that I've had tonight. So, thank you so much. Incredible knowledge. We are going to do show notes, of course, recap everything. Wednesday we'll publish it. We're going to make sure that we support, and I guarantee you that the Mentor Monday community is going to support. We'll carry the conversation on to Twitter. So
Yeah.
hashtag Mentor Monday. I know you will both be there, so we'll see you. But thank you very much. It really is an honor to have you both on.
And however we can continue to support you, we will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right.
Likewise. So everyone, say goodbye. Say goodbye to our folks. Remember,
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
make sure that
everybody.
you click-
Thank you, Paul.
Live in the
Thank you
Grown
very much.
Zone.
Yes.
Live in the Grown Zone. Make sure that you guys click that link there, Grown Zone. Phenomenal, phenomenal guest. I'm gonna tell you what, Alfred's got himself a winner. That's the way I like. Sometimes I was scared. I didn't know what to do with Zara. I mean, I love it. I love both of them. So here's the deal. We're 5 minutes over, but it's cool. I'm going to close out right now and say this one is we have a phenomenal time doing this, right? I could see that we had 200 people that we kept throughout this entire thing. So A is make sure that you read the show notes, which we're going to publish on the website, paulcbrunson.com on Wednesday, because it'll recap the best nuggets that both Alfred and Sarah dropped. And we'll also include all the resources. So if they mentioned, for example, Ronnie and Lamar Tyler, we'll link to their website, right? We'll actually link out. So I want to mention that. Secondly, is I want to mention that we are going to kick off our mastermind groups on April 28th. We have 500, that's right, 500 people signed up for mastermind groups. We're going to be emailing you information over the course of the next 2 weeks. The next session will be built around kicking it off. It's going to be incredible. 500 people already signed up. And I want to leave with this, right? I'm going to be on Twitter, by the way, right after this, answering any questions that you guys have. But I want to leave with this, something that Alfred continually said throughout the course of the Spreecast. And I think it's very, very important. He talked about knowing your value, right? Knowing your value. And he talked about his speaking, for example, and not accepting the $500 and because he charges the 12,000, which I really appreciate. This is the thing about value and self-worth, should I say. It is not just about knowing what your worth is, right? It's not just about knowing. It's about having the strength and having the courage to hold on to what your self-worth is. And that applies to business, applies to your social relationships, and it damn sure applies to your romantic relationships. So on that note, I love you guys. This is the highlight of my week, honestly, is doing this Mentor Monday and being able to listen to phenomenal speakers like Alfred Edmond Jr. and Zara Green. I'll see you guys on Mentor Monday, hashtag, so hashtag Mentor Monday, and then I'll see you April 28th when we kick off this mastermind. Crazy, 500 people. Peace.